finally finished. The new shack is done. So this video we're going to show you around it and show you how I've put it all together. So I've been wanting to do a shack for the longest time. I used to have a sort of canopy a couple of years back. I'll stick a photo in here if I can find one. It was just like a retractable roof that came over the area that I cooked in, but there wasn't really any kind of bench or anything to work off. So we ended up redoing the yard, and the shed had to move slightly, so the canopy didn't fit anymore, so it got took away. So since then I have been barbecuing in the rain. So it was about time I done something proper and put the shack up. So in order to fit the shack in, I had to move things about a little bit in the yard. You maybe remember from previous videos, so there used to be a shed here, and then this is where all the barbecues were. But this area was quite small, so I needed a slightly bigger area, so the shed had to go, and decided to move the shack over into this corner. Now obviously the shack isn't big enough to fit all my barbecues in, so there's enough space on this side of it where I can fit sort of 1 or 2 barbecues, but the rest of them all will sit along this wall and I can just move them in as I need them. So as for the shack itself, then we have 4 main uprights. The main one at the front here is a 4-inch post. Everything else is just attached to the walls. It's enclosed on 2 sides, so the back wall's enclosed and the side wall. And I've actually used old pallets then, stripped the boards off the top of them and used them to clad the walls. So I wanted to go for that kind of rustic look, and I think they've worked pretty well. I haven't sanded them down or done anything else to them. They're just literally taken off the pallets and mounted onto the wall. The main thing in the shack then that takes up space is the bench. I made this bench myself. I've used scaffolding boards for the top of it. They're pressure washed, then sanded down to 320 grit to smooth them off a little bit, and then stained with a light oil or a light oak stain. I'm really happy with how this turned out. There's 2 drawers in it then for a little bit of storage to keep tools and things like that in. And then down at the bottom there's a shelf, and that allows me to keep my charcoal and stuff to hand rather than having to store it somewhere else. I then have this second little storage unit. So under here we have space for the Weber Go Anywhere, the little churros tabletop, and then my chimney starters and stuff can stay in there too. The top of the shack, I've made these shelves. These again are out of scaffolding boards to sort of match in with the bench, but these give me a little bit of extra storage just to keep bits and pieces on. This one we have rubs on, and then across here like the thermometers, lighters, a few utensils and things. So over time I'll add bits and pieces to this just to give the shack a little bit of character, but for now it's just the necessities on it. And my girl's got me these 2 signs for Father's Day, so they've taken pride of place on the back wall. I do want to make then another sign for this gap here, but I'm going to make that myself. That'll actually be the website sign, so I'll let you know whenever it's finished. Then here, no BBQ Shack is truly finished until it has a bottle opener. So this is where the beers will be cracked open, and when I'm having a cook I can have a beer too. And as far as lighting goes, I've gone for spotlights. So we have one here, and one here. So that's 2 for now, and they're hardwired in, so you can pop them on and off from here. I'll see what it's like in the winter whenever it actually is dark. At the minute it's still bright enough that I don't really need the lights, so if the 2 spotlights don't give me enough, there's plenty of room to expand it. For roofing, I've used 10mm polycarbonate sheeting. So that's actually, there's 2 layers in it, there's an air gap in between them, so I thought that might help a little bit with condensation in the winter. One problem is it's a plastic roof and the noise of the rain off it is terrible, but the main thing is I'm staying dry, so I'm not going to complain. So that's it. It's a pretty simple shack, there's not much to it, it's just a glorified bus shelter I suppose, with a bench and a barbecue in it. But the main thing is I want it somewhere where everything, having a workspace to work in and actually set stuff out and not have to pack everything away every time you finish. That was the main thing. The second thing was these videos. The grey fence was a little bit of a boring backdrop and I had to set up different things every time, so hopefully this will turn into a little bit of a set. It'll grow with the channel, we'll add new things to it to make it a little bit more interesting, and as we find things we need to add to it, we'll add them, and I'll keep you updated along the way. So I'm so excited to get cooking in it and put it to use, and come the winter, I say winter, I live in Northern Ireland, we get the sunshine, it's probably out around maybe 360 minutes a year. Other than that, we're talking rain and wind most of the time, so this is going to come in handy. If you have any questions about the shack or how I've put it together, what materials I've used, leave them in the comments below. Or maybe as I add things to it, I'll maybe do different little videos on them, or if I have other projects I want to work on. But definitely, if you have a build of your own planned and you're wanting any advice on anything I've done here, leave a comment and I'll happily talk to you about it. This was a lot of work. I think it took probably about 4 weeks I think in total to get it finished. I've done most of the work myself, a little bit of help from my dad, so shout out to Dad if he's watching. But I wanted to try it. I have a habit of changing my mind quite a bit, so at least if I was doing it myself I could change things up as I went along. It took a little bit of extra time to do it, but it was worth it in the end. So really happy with how it's turned out so far, and it's only going to grow then as the channel goes on. Turn this into a little bit of a set and do plenty of cooking in it. So that was just a short little episode to show you around the new shack. I hope you guys like it, or it's maybe give you a little bit of inspiration when it comes to your own outdoor builds. I'd love to see anything that you guys have put together, so you can tag me in your photos on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll have a look through them. Maybe I'll get a few ideas for my own shack. But if you like these kind of episodes, let me know. I'll try and do a few of them in the future again, because they're not really tutorial videos, they're not necessarily product reviews and things like that, so it's nice to throw one in every now and again just as a little vlog episode. So if you did like the episode, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I have lots more content planned over the next few weeks, a few exciting things coming up, and I'll see you in the next episode.